Good evening, Shiban.
Great, ma'am.
All big congratulations, and you got the score like very recently, right? 705.
Yeah, I took the test on Friday and I received a score at night itself on Friday.
Oh, the same day. Okay, a lot of people
Yeah,
like have to wait for 24 to 48 hours. While
right,
you
right,
see on the earlier you used to get like a unofficial score report, at least at the test center. There you have like 5 minutes, you see the score.
right.
But big achievement, 705 and a 99 percentile. This has been like a wow moment for us as well. Obviously, I want to ask you how you felt after you gave the exam. But look at that score, 95th percentile in quant, a verbal 86th percentile, and data insight
Right.
90th percentile. So,
Yeah.
did you expect the score?
Honestly, no, because I mean I don't recommend it, but I did not take any mocks. I always had a fear of mocks, and I always felt like it used to make or break your confidence. And right before the exams, was not it did not seem like a good option for me. So I just went with it, and I did not know where I stood. So I just went for it and I gave it, and it was a big surprise for me as well.
So, this was like 2 months of preparation right from scratch without giving mocks, right there.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You then in this case you would have done the practice. I mean, this score cannot happen in fluke, by the way. The fluke is, it could go down south.
true,
That
right,
I can surely say. We'll be talking about it more in terms of what you've practiced all throughout. But it is uncommon, at least in the last 1 week, all the students that I spoke to who got the score, there have been a couple of them who did not, who had a similar mindset of not taking too much mock to, then down, let the entire spirit of giving the exam die, right? So
right.
they also come from the same school of thought altogether. But irrespective, Shivan, great score, and you informed Priyansha at the same time, 2 months of preparation
Right.
before it was written. So just let's go back in time, and would you be able to tell about yourself? What are you currently doing, and how did this entire plan of GMAT start?
I graduated in the year 2022, and from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, and I got you get your dream job right after college, and so I got that, but due to some issues, I could not go. I had to decline the offer,
Okay.
and I had to be here with my family. And so I knew for a fact that I can always get back into it, and there are ways to continue with the process. And so it's not a very conventional trajectory.
Oh,
And so I stayed back and I continued studying. I took my CFA. I cleared 2 levels, and I started a small venture which actually took off for a while. And I mean, people say that it's you enjoy the autonomy and uh, the growth, but it kind of becomes monotonous, and you need like-minded people around you to grow yourself with the venture as well. So I was feeling kind of stuck there, so I wanted to get out of it, but it seemed like all the doors were shut, and GMAT seemed like the perfect opportunity to change things. And last year, right after I cleared my CFA level 2, I talked to one of the members of top 1%, and I actually got to know about top 1% from one of my, I don't know if it's okay to name, but I think you might be knowing Harshad Jain.
right.
Uh,
Yes, of course, he's
so
definitely
we've been,
he's
yeah, so
there.
we've been friends for over 12, 13 years, and he is the kind of person who, who has always been very sorted, and you just know that if he is doing it and if he is recommending it, you just have to at least go for it and see for yourself. And so I took the course. I took the self-paced course, and it was for the classical version, classic edition. And but so I started my prep. I prepared for like 2 weeks or so, and but I was uh, my mom, she was suffering from a very chronic illness, and so it got worse, and I had to stop my preparations and focus on that. So it took 2 or 3 months, and now she has recovered completely. So I thought that maybe it's the best time to get back on track and just finish what you started. I was in a bad place 3 months back, and I did not actually start my preparation then, but I had the links to the Know the Word series, so I started watching that. I watched one video every night, and I think that had the biggest impact on me. Uh, I think maybe it was. I think it was the fifth or sixth video where Sir was talking about the different chambers of the brain, neocortex and prefrontal cortex. So that event was, it was mind blowing. I just and the next few days I just kept thinking about it. I was working, I was talking to people, and you could just feel that you're not using all that you've been given. You have, as a human being, you have been given a lot more resources that you need to utilize to make the best of yourself. Uh, so that kind of motivated me to go ahead and start the preparation again. And I did that. I began using and top 1% has an extensive material. Top 1% material is very extensive, and you know, it covers all the permutations and combinations of quant and verbal, very basic. So I did that. I completed the guides, class session guides, and then I went for the live session. I think there are 60 questions each for every topic. I did that, and then I tried solving the 700 to 800 question document. So I did that, and I thought that I've exhausted all my resources, and I think I think I'm ready now. I should just go for it and give the exam, and at least I'll know where I stand. I did not take any mocks, so I did not have any other option. I just went for it, and I was confident with quant. I've always been very good with numbers, so I was good with quant. But verbal was it kind of made me question all that I knew, my comprehension abilities, and uh, it was just a lot of it did not make sense at first, and it took me a lot of time to solve each question. But I think mentioned this in one of the first few videos that don't focus on the on speed, just focus on accuracy, and with time you'll be able to do it a lot faster. You'll start connecting the dots faster, and you'll start understanding it a lot faster, and that's exactly what happened with me. uh, I think I could have done better. DI was a pretty strong suit for me, and I actually had to guess the last two answers, and I think I could have done better there.
Right. I'm just gonna go back in time again. Two of the things that you said, it was an unexpected trigger, I could say. One is the quest to do more, to beat the monotonity. That's what you said.
Right, exactly.
And the other trigger to get back on track, to be able to do bigger than just numbers that are there, was the KTW
Right,
session. So these two things to summarize per se, to get back on track. And of course, the situation was also such that you couldn't get back, but it was a perfect time. I mean, right now was as soon as you got the opportunity, you made full,
right, yeah.
you just grabbed that by and got the score. Now, going back in time, what did you have the biggest misconception about GMAT? What was the GMAT? And now when you're on the other side, what would you say that, okay, this was the biggest misconception? It's a very, off question. I'm just saying because some people do have a, very, very, very rare.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Do you recall
So
any?
a lot of people say that GMAT quant is very easy. You just have to revise all your middle school and class 9, 10 mathematics, and it's not just that. You learn the concept may be similar, but they don't test you the same way. The questions are a lot more intense. Maybe they you have to figure a lot of stuff out before you can actually use the formula and get the answer. You have to note stuff down. I remember the 15 question or so on my exam. I had no idea what the question was asking, and I took around 3 minutes just trying to understand what it meant. I and time the time was running, so I could not afford to just stay there and focus on this one question. So I chose the wrong answer, and I moved ahead, and I was left with around 2 to 3 minutes after the 21st question. So I went back, and it took around 1.5 minutes, but I did it correctly. And I thought that all my answers were correct, but I think one was wrong. the 14th question it was wrong, and but it's fine. I'm satisfied.
So in your preparation, this is in terms of the resources that you've had, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I could just put it this way, like, if everything is given, the exact same thing is given to you as a self-paced course student or a live class student. Anyone who's joining, the course is same, the content is same, videos are exactly the same, study plan is given. You're asked to be very consistent, and you're given, mock test portal, you're given the error logs, you're given an entire plan. Now, for you, what is the secret weapon, you would say? Weapon, or maybe a tool, you would say, or a
Right.
resource that you relied on, and you think that often this particular tool is often overlooked, or maybe is useful, one of the two things.
So I think consistency and the fact that I still had the habit of studying even 2 years after college,
Yeah.
and consistency in a way that there are days when you don't feel like studying. You just feel like taking some time off and doing stuff that you enjoy. But after a while, I actually started enjoying doing quants and verbal, and DI was actually my favorite part. The amount of analysis that you have to do,
Right.
and the figuring out that you have to do, and you have to uh, put your finger on it, and you have to connect the dots. So it may not be as strong as quant for me, but it was surely the most interesting section. And I think you just have to be consistent with your preparation, and you can obviously take a day off if you want, but you need to get back on track and not procrastinate a lot.
So while you were at it, while you were preparing, were you still working, or did you give your entire time to the preparation?
No, I was still working, and so it was my own venture. So I had the the choice to take some time off and then uh, focus more on my study. But I kept working, and initially I studied for 2 hours or so. But after like 2 weeks or so, I started putting in more hours, and uh, maybe in the past 1 month or so, I was studying 7 to 8 hours a day
Oh, great.
consistently. And what I did was I tried to study each section every day.
Right.
Even if I can devote like 30 minutes to an hour, I tried to solve like 20-30 questions at least of quant, verbal, and DI every day. So yeah, that was something that worked for me.
Although you said in the very beginning that you would not recommend this way of not giving mocks, but what
Right,
kind of helped you to get that confidence that, "Nay, I'm ready right now to give GMAT"? It's obviously, and I can only now, let's say, just probably think that it could be the practice, right? I could assume that
right.
it's the amount of practice was quite a lot. If you have to put a number to it, how many questions have you practiced without having to do with any of the mocks? How did you really survive and gain that confidence?
I think, I mean, like I said, I exhausted all the resources that I got from top 1%, I think, and that was actually enough for me. And I thought that, I've covered all that was possible and there's nothing more to do. It was a saturation point for me, and I felt like, so there was no such pressure on me that, if I have scored 685 or 675 on my mocks, then I have to replicate that. I just knew that I need a decent score to, understand where I stand. Uh, and I don't know how, but it was 705.
705. No, but did
Yeah.
you untime or time your even the practice, if not for mocks, right? Did you untime your practice questions, the questions that you did? Did you analyze any of the questions that you attempted?
Yeah, I did that. So initially I did not, like, so used to say that focus on accuracy first. So I used to do that, and I started solving the questions faster itself. So, and at the end of it, I did start timing myself, but maybe the mocks could have helped in DI, because that is one section where a lot of people struggle with time, and I did too. And the last two questions were actually data sufficiency and table analysis. So that is something that I've always found comparatively easier, and I think I could have scored a little better, but I think it's done now. I now do something about
The
it.
most surprising insight I have ever seen, in terms of without a mock, you've got this score. And like I said, the only thing that can explain is you've really done your practice very well, and you've actually
Right,
focused on accuracy and timing at some point in time. This was, I could call, a lesson in disguise, which is
right,
a very surprising insight. Now, what would you say about us, someone who you've navigated through this path, right? What is that one piece of, advice that you would like to give, or maybe debunk for the rest of, for the GMAT aspirants here?
So again, like I said, I think consistency is the key. Even if you take 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, but you have to be consistent with your preparation. You can take a day or two off, but you have to continue right where you left off. And I think the what helped me the most was studying all the sections every day. And there's you don't you never go out of practice, uh, even if you take like 2 3 days to maybe get back on track. But it's something that I would recommend, that keep doing it.
Right,
That's
every single day. Yeah, so consistency is one of the key factors. Like without it, you just can't get yourself uh, to doing, or to even getting booking your exam date. Forget about giving the
right.
exam itself, right? Now, if you could change one thing about the way people approach the GMAT, it's very off question. What would it be? Like, how should one? I mean, someone who's starting out, how should they approach the entire GMAT preparation?
So I think GMAT is very dynamic. It's very different from all the exams that I've taken. I think it's adaptable, and you do not know how the algorithm works. And uh, you may think that people get lucky, but you have to understand how the scoring system works as well. And it's something that and people think that it's easy, especially the quant section, but it is not. That's what I thought as well, that it's just maybe it's just a middle school math, and I was always good at it, so maybe I'll do it. It'll take me a month or so to revise, and I'll just go for it. But I think it was the first session, the demo session, where sir gave us a set of questions, and I got most of them, I got them wrong. So that was the reality check, that it's not that easy, and you do have to work hard for it as well. So uh, it was I felt like I had to start from scratch again. So that's what I did. You cannot say that it's very easy. You have to understand, because some people do uh, consider it that way throughout their preparation, and they get stuck at that level, uh, you know 500, 600 level. So that's something that if you start right from the 700 level, I think you continue that trajectory throughout.
True, absolutely true. I mean, that's one of the things I must have mentioned earlier as well. Like, it's like a mountain, at the tip of the mountain. Sandeep sir puts you right at the tip of the mountain. The struggle happens at the
Exactly.
very
Yeah.
beginning. If you start from the absolute low level, like the base of the mountain, you're going to be exhausted by the time you come up, or even halfway through.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's his idea of really putting you into practice more right from the beginning. And the last part of it is where you work on practice, accuracy, and looking at that 99 percentile accuracy. So I
Right.
think you've really put that all together. One of the things I am extremely excited to speak about is Know the World. One of the things that you also touch base is that the brain, reptilian brain, and so, right, and that on a large bit is neuromarketing. So, what I don't know if you've watched all the sessions that are there in KTW, but what stood
Yeah.
out the most, and did you get a chance? Did it only was like a aha moment for you, or did you actually applied it somewhere in your practical, in your life, in your business, or any of the things?
No, you don't have to, apply it as such. It just comes organically to you.
Right.
You can feel that you are evaluating stuff better, and you are trying to extract as much information as possible from things. You're not satisfied with surface level information anymore, and uh, a lot of people say that the history sessions were the most interesting, but I think that was the most. It was 3 hours of the most intense, information taking session of my life, and I don't think I can ever forget that.
Yeah, it's also the way he puts it, like a story that can never be erased. It's just going to stick,
Right.
right? I think that is phenomenal. That's what makes Sandeep, right?
I know. Yeah.
And I can like even when you're saying that, in your very rough times and tough times, you're looking at KTW session, and that kind of inspired, gave me goosebumps in the very beginning. Because even we felt it, all of us have felt it in one way or the other. It feels so surreal to share that kind of a, moment. Now the last question is, what next for Shiban? Where are you going with, I mean, what are you looking to apply? Which schools are you looking to apply? Or are you giving yourself some more time before you choose to apply?
So, I mean, I do have a lot of doors open for me now, but I think I'll take my time to, I think maybe I have worked for 2 years, but it's not enough. So, I was considering masters as well, maybe masters in finance or something. I could leverage my score and go for that, but I think I'd like to go for an MBA later,
Yes.
maybe a Deferred program.
Would you consider the US schools? Any geographic location, or you're limiting
Oh
yourself?
yeah, US
Yeah.
mostly. Yeah, US,
I mean,
absolutely.
because then if you're sold to the idea of what KTW has, I mean, then you don't want to come anything lower than what the US
Exactly.
school
Yeah.
offers. The reason why M7 is M7, it has that reason. It is going to give you that kind of platform, really upscale what,
Right. Yeah.
right? And
And
nothing.
another thing about KTW was that initially it all seems very scattered. There's just a lot of things to process, but eventually you can see everything connect like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, and that is the most exciting part about it. Like I knew for a fact that right now maybe I'm not understanding, but I know for a fact that maybe after 3 years I'll understand it all and I'll know how to utilize it in my life as well.
Yeah.
So that is something that
Invariantly, you will
is
see
very
yourself
impactful.
applying somewhere or the other, at some point in GMAT, at some point in your application, at some point in a dinner conversation, or in some point
Right, exactly.
a business partner conversation. You will see that happening, and it's most interesting and exciting things that's happening in the world. And why won't people be interested in, right? But this has been a
Right.
great conversation. You've given, in this conversation, you've given some intriguing and dynamic insight into your journey, into your preparation, and very interesting revelation about the entire experience without having doing mocks and
Okay.
KTW and everything. Definitely, a big congratulations again, starting from scratch
Thank
to,
you.
preparing in 2 months. Not an easy thing at all. And first attempt, you got the score. Big kudos, and really hope that, you get the score, get your admit that you're looking for. So one other thing, of course, you did have Harshit who told you about top 1%. We just encourage that if you do know someone else who would like to be preparing, please, you can always refer. So please get in touch with me or Priyansha, if at all, if there is someone in your know. But again, thank you so much for
Sure.
being in, Shivan. All the very best.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was
Good luck.
great talking to you.
Same here, same here.
Goodbye.
Good luck. Have a good evening. Bye bye.